Good evening and welcome to yet another exciting, inspirational and a motivational half an hour of a Cuppa with Nomcebo. This is the show where we get to sit down with wonderful people of this country that are doing big things in their communities and in their spaces and in the country as large. And today is no other day. We have a wonderful woman sitting with us in the studio today, a woman that has done so much and has achieved so much by just doing something that we don't normally get to think about or think is conventional, and that is dance. I have with me Velile Dube. Velile, thank you so much for joining me today. It's an honor
Thank you
to
for
actually
having me.
having you sit there and have a couple with me. How we just catch up, and just find out how you're doing.
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you
really
for
appreciate it.
actually being here. Velile, you've done so much. You're the managing director of Impact Foundation, and you're a dance maestro and a director at Kids in Motion. Wow, you're doing big things, Velile, over the past couple of years. Can you just tell us, how has that journey been for you?
It's been, I always say that when it comes, I've been just lucky, blessed. I'd rather use that word.
Blessed, yes.
I've been extremely blessed. So I started ballet. My mom was transferred. I think it was just when you're called into something, the universe, God makes a way to make it happen
Right.
for you. So my mom was transferred to South Africa when I was born in Swaziland.
Yes.
Transferred to South Africa, and then I started, the first house where we stayed, just down the road, was a recreation center, and there was ballet going on. So that's why I'm even at Kids in Motion doing what I'm doing the way that I'm
Right.
doing it, because I remember just what it did for my childhood.
And
you
that
know?
was in South Africa.
That was in South Africa.
Right.
Like every, maybe 2nd Street or 3rd Street, there was some activity,
Right.
going on. There was ballet, there was
Right.
gymnastics, there
Right.
was, and it was the professionalism for me, and it was just the way the spaces were done. They were done properly. There was no compromise. So when I did go and start to do ballet, the ballet teachers that I met at the time were ballet teachers who just did what they did, out of
Profession.
love and passion.
And passion,
And
yes.
it's so professional. So I started ballet then when I was 6 years old, and we moved houses. And when we moved, again, like a street away was another
Wow.
ballet studio.
Wow.
And there was a Royal Academy of Ballet in Bramley, Johannesburg. So I had that option. So then I would go to the studio, but then we'd take our exams a few streets away, which was at the Royal Academy of Ballet.
Okay.
So then, that's how I then, just continued with ballet.
And at
I
what
went
age
to the
did
national.
you begin?
I started when I was 5 years old,
Uh-huh.
5 or 6. Yeah,
Wow.
6 years old. I started when I was 6 years old.
Okay, so that's how early you moved. You left the country.
That's how early I left
Oh,
the
my
country.
word.
I did
Okay,
I
okay.
think grade 1 here, and then, and then I continued
the
the
next
rest
and
in
it's
South
a
Africa.
good thing you came back home, because look at what you're doing for our kids and the country.
Absolutely.
Really, through ballet. It's a really wonderful story. And you are not. Everyone knows Velile. At some point, we were colleagues, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I'm talking to another former television presenter,
Absolutely.
working for us. And how was that for you? Do you think you could go back to television?
I would. I actually am going back to TV, but in the form of a podcast for Impact Foundation.
Wow, okay.
Because people are on the net now, and that's where we'd like to catch them with such shows,
Right.
and with such, just to be inspired as well. So I am going back to TV. Swazi TV was another beautiful experience for me,
Right.
to be completely honest with
Yeah.
you. It was, it came also right at a time because, being in the industry, so I'm just going to share, being in the industry in Johannesburg. So when I did do ballet, I went to the National School of Arts.
Yes.
For about 5 years. And then after that, the National School of Arts is like a college as well, because when you leave, you are so equipped. That's why most people, you either choose to continue and do something else, or you go international and whatever. But, my story for me to even come back to Swaziland to come and work in TV was that I went into the industry, started working with amazing people. But I
Right.
think when it comes to the choices I made at the time, were not the best choices for myself.
All been through that, trust me. We've all been through that.
Absolutely, they're not best choices for myself. I was still young and all over the place. Very talented, because that's how I got to work with big names like Tembisiete.
Yeah, I wanted to
definitely,
you know, going to go into that because look, it's ballet, you know, open the doors for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you got to meet those big names, you know, Somizi, Tembisiete, as you said, Mbongeningema. How was that like, you know, being that tiny, you know, Swazi girl, and you find yourself in that space? What was that like? Take us to that moment.
That's why I do what I do the way that I do it. I do it to make sure that people recognize who they are very early.
Good.
And I think for me, the experiences that I've had, I'm trying to make it a point that I use my mistakes and maybe some of the things that I did to just help young girls make sure that when you get to own it, you know, you deserve to be there. So there was a bit of, really, is this really me? And yet, you know, when you get to a space and you're from the National School of Arts, you're ballet trained, so that means you are probably the best. And, you know...
Yes, and you are the best.
Exactly.
Yes. You are the best, actually. I know that for a fact.
So, yeah, when I was at Mbongeningema, I was the really good dancer, you know, so you would see it the way... Velile, please, you know, you'd always be the one they use for examples. Velile, please come and show them this. Velile, please come and show them that, you know.
Right.
So when I did get to spaces, I was that kind of a person. So the experiences were absolutely amazing. I can't, I mean, even today, everything that I learned from Babengema and the people that, you know, we got introduced to while working with him, Tandi Somazo, I remember just watching her backstage.
Wow.
I know. It was crazy. Like, but I've had,
those
I've
are big
really
names.
had an
Those are big
amazing,
names. So
amazing.
What was the most hilarious moment, you know, working with these people? What was the...
Funny enough, I worked with Somizi Mhlongo not in South Africa, but in Swaziland.
Look at that.
In Swaziland. I think there was a soccer thing that was supposed to be done, and he came to Swaziland.
Right.
Oh, what an amazing person. I still think I think the next time I then worked with him was Metro Film Awards, so it was a bit far. But like when he was in Swaziland, I remember we were in his car. We went to Finesse and we sat and we had a ball. Me and him started just talking about the National School of Arts, about the industry, and he was so chill. He's so relaxed. He really is. He's so real, and he just loves what he does. He's very professional. So that's what I appreciate about my past or my history. It's that I worked with very professional people, and they really helped me.
And I guess that is what contributed to the beautiful work that you're doing,
absolutely,
you know, in Kids in Motion. And let's just talk about Kids in Motion, because that is a big deal.
Yeah, Kids in Motion, I started in 2016. I started with just 4 kids. And I remember just, I was a ballet dancer. I was a professional ballet dancer. So I didn't have experience in teaching.
I'm going to ask you to hold it right there, because we need to quickly go into commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to learn more about, you know, Kids in Motion, because everyone needs to hear the story. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back. For joining us. You are watching Cuppa with Nomcebo. We're having a laid-back, wonderful conversation with Velile Dube, a very inspirational young woman who's doing great things in the kingdom of the country. Doing what? Dance. So we're going to go quickly, you know, before we enter in commercial break, we were talking about Kids in Motion. You know, that's a big academy, a big dance academy that you're running there. Can you just elaborate more on that?
Okay, so we started in 2016 with 4 kids. And it was just in Mbabane. And then now we are in Mbabane, Eswatini, and Manzini. We hope to go national.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still producing teachers and stuff. So at the moment, we are just in those 3 parts of the country. And yeah, I mean,
tell us about it. What is it like, you know, working with these young kids? Because I think the youngest kids, at what age?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
Exactly. So
absolutely,
you're working with children, you know, at that young age. And it means then there's something in you, and even being able
to do that.
You know, to do that, to work with kids, you know, from that age. So just tell us about that experience, because it brings something, I wouldn't say it's new, but it is kind of new. Because I think you're the first person in the kingdom, believe me, to actually take it to the level that you've taken ballet to, the professionalism, the exposure, and just doing it properly, not just doing sport as a hobby, which is something that really kills. You know, it kills our children, you
Absolutely.
know. Yeah, so but I'm not dreaming enough, you know, because you know what, I have the skill, what can I do with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do elaborate on that one.
Okay, so 3 years old, I think for me, I love kids. So I was always just, even at church, that kid who always just would look around. Is there a baby for me to just like, you know?
Sweet.
So
that
I
is so
absolutely,
sweet. That's
I
that's
absolutely
sweet.
love kids. So that comes naturally. So then when it comes to training them in ballet, I have the understanding, because I started at a young age, and also just watched the teachers that were teaching me. They were not teaching me for the sake of it. They were not teaching me to think within South Africa even. They were teaching me for me to think internationally. Like I'm saying, for me it was just bad decisions that didn't get me to be where my friends are. The Toriso Mahongwas who are overseas, Lona Masego, Kitty Petla. So all these amazing big names in ballet.
You're already doing big things.
I am.
So,
I really am. I'm not regretting. I'm definitely not regretting. But I'm just, that's the truth of the matter. Is that I would probably be, you know. But now it's even better that I'm making it a point, and that's why I'm teaching them the way that I'm teaching. I'm making it a point that they do it the way that I know, and that is, hey, you can be the biggest thing on earth. And so that's why I even partnered with my old art school, the National School of Arts.
Love them.
The National School of Arts. So I partnered the National School of Arts, and just, I think on the 27th of this month, we have 2 girls who are going to be auditioning. They made it for the live audition. So we're going to make it a whole big thing. We're going to document them going to the National School of Arts, because from the National School of Arts, like, I know for sure that they're not going to be able to think within South Africa, and they'll be gone.
They'll be gone.
And Eswatini is going to be represented in very big spaces. So that's why I train them the way we take them from 3 years. Once they come of age, like from like say 5, they have now a very big understanding of not only ballet but themselves as well. So they never lose that, and then we just take it from them.
Take it from them. That's
take
wonderful.
It from them.
Ballet is not just the only thing that you do. You're also the managing director of WOMPACT, and I know that there's a big, you know, story and message behind that. If you can just kindly take us there.
Okay, so WOMPACT, like I'm saying, for me, it's very spiritual. WOMPACT is very spiritual. My so spiritual that there's my spiritual fathers involved, Pastor J.V. Mazibugo and Pastor Vincent Tlajwago. So it was, I mean, how it happened, yes, it involved a person doing something which was, you know, just basically someone trying to, you know, manage his life. But unfortunately, it affected me. And so when it affected me, but it didn't win. So so then it birthed WOMPACT Foundation. So within that space, like I'm saying, I was busy with Kids in Motion. Really, I had no intention of opening WOMPACT. So that's why I always say that WOMPACT for me was a command from heavens. I think only spiritual people understand this. It was a command to say, hey, you see, I'm taking you through this so that you can go back and help other women go through this, because there's so many. What happened was, when I wrote my testimony on my status update, and I just told women what God had done for me, you know, I didn't know. It was
if you could just
crazy.
share a bit
of it. Okay, so the thing is, I also don't want, because I think for this person, you know, when you're in a relationship with a person, and this person is maybe just out of his own beliefs, you know, believes in, okay, no, let's go to Babes Banbadi, you know, and in the relationship, you're like, okay, whatever. I mean, I grew up in a Christian home. I don't know these things, but here you are in a relationship, because you do, when you're in a relationship, find yourself doing things maybe because out of love or out of just, hey, acceptance. You accept whatever this person is doing, and then only to find that when you decide, because based on maybe his bad behaviors and the way that he is, you decide, okay, listen, I'm pregnant, and there's no way I'm bringing a child into this environment, so I'm gonna take my things and I'm going to leave. Sort yourself out. But this is not for me. You know, you're not what I'm looking for. And so you leave, and then this person uses the same methods, which you know about because you're in the relationship with him, right? And he was doing all these things. So he uses the same methods now, this time, to try and manipulate your decision. You know, I've made my decision, that's it. So this person decides, okay, no, then I'm going to do things like this, only to find that, you know, that's why Wompact, we're very strong on emphasizing that it's a faith base, because, like I'm saying, my spiritual pastors got involved, and women in the church prayed for me. So, you know, there was a lot of, it was a very spiritual battle. I mean, even the person confessed and said he thought he was helping the relationship, or you know, but
and then it just had that you know, that negative, you know, impact at the end, and
it really,
that must have been your lowest point of your life.
Was,
you know, seeing it in your eyes,
crazy.
you know, in the way you're relating in that story.
Yeah, it was crazy, because I never thought I'd ever go through anything like this, but now I understand it was all for a good purpose. But I never thought I'd go through anything like that, and also just find myself doing it as well in the relationship, you know, participating, because you just like, hey, you know, or I guess, I don't know, open-minded or whatever. But now you know, now I know, and I would never want to see another woman go through that, because it was so. I mean, my kid, the baby was really young, but it affected her. So I even tell people that I know people like, we want to believe that these things are like, oh no, these things don't work, kumoti, whatever. I have so a different. I can tell.
Yeah, that's
I can tell you a
spiritual world.
It does. Black magic works, but like I'm saying, that's why I'm doing the programs that I'm doing them. You know, Wompact. Doing Wompact the way that I'm doing it is to say to people and women, you always need to be at a certain position.
Right.
Otherwise, situations or people or anything like this can throw you so off, you will not know how to get back to where you are. For me,
that is very big of you to actually sit on that couch, you know, and have this conversation with me while we're enjoying this Cuppa. You know, I don't think it's everyone that can actually, you know, share such a deep, personal story. And, you know, I just want to say thank you for that. I'm greatly humbled, and I hope the viewers at home are also getting that energy, you know, that it takes a lot for someone to actually come and share such a story, you know, with the world. And thank you for doing that. It's definitely going to change some lives. You're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. You are watching a Cuppa with Nomcebo, and I'm sharing this wonderful half an hour with Velile Duba. You've shared such a wonderful moving story, you know, about the challenges, you know, that you went through, the spiritual challenges that you went through, which actually then, you know, gave birth to a wonderful project, Wompact. I'd just like you to just unpack what you guys do as Wompact and all the services that you offer.
Okay. So because I'm a dancer, and also just when it comes to understanding physique and the importance of, you know, alignment, mind, body, and soul.
That's so important.
That needs to always that needs to always be in line, you know. So it's very difficult, I know, for a lot of women to get up and do something, you know, because you're so busy and everything else.
Tell me about it.
Yet you need an outlet. So at Wompact Foundation, we are creating spaces for women to come and reconnect with themselves. It's for you, trust me, it's not even for us. It's for you to reconnect with yourself, for women to come and discover who they really are, and just have a place that they can always go to and let their hair loose. So just the other day, even Celeste Jacobs Richards, she just said, this is such a beautiful space.
Wonderful.
It's like, you know, let your hair down. So
Yeah.
that's when I was like, so it is, you know, I mean, some of the women that come, they call it therapy. So we create those spaces.
Right.
Therapy for women, you know. So dance is therapy. It's prayer. I always say there's even something on TikTok that I like putting on my status, that we are people of prayer. We pray through dance. We pray through song. We pray through. So we're creating these spaces. I would even say church in a conventional way, where you can come and, you know, come and just get that assistance. You know, have other women around you who maybe have even been through some of these things, and you know, we all just, you know, fighting this life thing, but we're doing it, you know, in this.
I think it's very important, because looking at what is happening today, there's a lot, you know, of cases, you know, mental health. You know, I can tell you, a majority of us, you know, are actually battling, you know, those demons of mental health, and yet to have a stable mentality is so key. Because the moment, you know, something goes wrong, you know, in your mental capacity, then, you know, everything then just shuts down.
Absolutely.
So Wompact comes in.
We have lost, as humanity, we have lost the biggest quality, and that is play. We were born to love, we were born to be happy, we were born to play, we were born to, you know, so Wompact is basically bringing those spaces, you know, to dance again, just love, live, you know. I mean, I went through what I went through, but I'm definitely not going to get stuck there and be all serious about life. And absolutely not. I'm just going to play and live and love, and that's what we're doing. Love myself again, bring it all back, you know. So we're creating those spaces.
You're mentioning very important things here, Velile. You know, it's, you know, we talk about them, and it's easy, you really, to talk about, you know, loving yourself, you know, being positive, going out there and play. But some people, they need the tools, you know, the know-how.
Absolutely.
How do I actually get to that point, you know, in my head, that, you know what, Nomcebo, get up. You know, don't think that, you know, life is done. Here you are, you've got a job, you're a mom, and on your weekends or on your spare time, you're saying, family, you're there, but you also need to do.
There is so much going. I think someone once said to me, just talking about golf. And this woman is like, you know how people have always said, you know, if you do, but now I understand what they're trying to say by being out and doing something. There's so much to do. There's so much to discover about yourself, you know. There are things that you don't know about yourself. Exactly.
Because every day you're living, right?
Yes. There's so much that, so when you decide, hey, let me take this dance class, you'll be surprised that that is a space that you are probably supposed to be. I've then, from this space, met so many amazing women. I can't even, who are doing amazing things, who have introduced me to just amazing things. And that's just, you just keep life moving, and now there's other things, and then just as you're moving, there's something else, and it's bigger, and you know, so that's how you just get to network and also meet amazing people. I would say, I even say it all the time, that at Wompact we're basically just clearing energy so that you can attract that which you deserve back into your life. So that's absolutely big. We just you know, clearing the energies, you know, bringing back that feminine energy, because that's another thing that women have lost because of the seriousness of life, and also just, hey, but you know, men, and complaining, and then now you take on being a man, and now you're all masculine energy, no feminine energy. So even the dances that I do I make it a point that it's to, you know, you look at yourself in the mirror and you remember that sexiness about you, that everything about it, that appreciating yourself,
your body, your curves.
You walk out of there. I mean, one of the ladies said, I walked out of that class feeling like the sexiest woman alive, because that's how you're supposed to feel as a woman, you know, so that you can then, you know, move like the woman that you are. Yes, we need the masculine energy now, because we live in a time where, you know, things are demanding so much, but don't lose that aspect of yourself, because that's what hurts you. Because you start taking on a role that you were never born to take, because now, you know, you are just, you've lost it.
Why am I feeling guilty? Honestly, I'm like, you're preaching to me. You're preaching. But you know, that's really great. And Velile, you are doing a wonderful thing. Wompact is born now. We have something that you can do just to help us as adults. And you're also in the space, you know, the children, grooming them at a young age. I think that is exceptionally beautiful, you know.
Absolutely.
And what's your next, I want to say 5-year plan.
There's so much going on.
What's next, you know?
There's so much going on. I'd say Wompact. What's next is just creating bigger spaces. Can't really say what they are because creating bigger spaces, inviting exceptional women, some that I worked with in you know before, to come and just basically show in body and action what people like talking and not moving, you know, because we're very big on, I always watch how some people's like, oh, you're so big on like sending motivational things, but you know, faith without works is dead. So you need to kind of get up and actually do something about it.
I think we all need those positive emotions, you know, around us and for us, you know, even for
it's actually
yourself
taking
as
the
a
step. I
person.
don't know what, I think there's no boldness enough. I always say that I'm advantaged because I went to the National School of Arts and I'm an artist, so I'm not scared of doing something. If I say I'm doing something, I'll do it. So there is that boldness.
And quickly, the kids are going to America, Kids in Motion.
Yes, Talent America. So we just so what usually used to happen is we used to go to South Africa to go do regionals, and then they call us for nationals and then internationals. So after I had a conversation with the director of Talent America Africa, so she's like basically in charge of Africa, Janita. So when I had a conversation with her, she was like, listen, I really think you are good at what you do. Put a team of experts in your country and put a Eswatini team together and let's all go to America. So now we don't have to go.
Towards America. Congratulations for that, you know, and thank you for coming onto the show, and thank you for opening up. And thank you for just letting your story out there and sharing it, you know, in Eswatini, in Makai, you know, it's big. With those things, you know, we can't ignore them. We cannot, you know. It's just such a pleasure to have you in the studio with me, you know, and having a cup with me. And because you are such a true light, Velile. A true light, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, you know, that you are a true light, you're an inspiration, you know, in the kingdom of Eswatini and internationally. You're doing big things. And our wonderful partners, Eswatini Candles, thank you very much for this beautiful candle. I'd like to present to you this beautiful candle that I would love for you to use it and be the light that you are. Thank you for being on the show. And on that note, we would like to sign out on a Cuppa with Nomcebo. It's been a truly moving, emotional, and an inspirational half an hour. Thank you for watching. Good night.